Hi, this is Chris from LiveDan330.com. I'm doing a series on social media and blogging. Today's episode is episode number 2, Why Live Streaming is Going to Take Over Social Media. I have 4 reasons and a little thought about that, and I'm going to share them right now. First of all, live streaming will take over social media because it makes it more personal. Look, this is a much more personal conversation. You can look me in the eyes and actually see me talking to you. That's going to be a lot more than just reading something that I write, because you don't really know who the author is or who edited it. Making something live streaming, sure, it's a little rougher. You got to look at my ugly beard and my bad hair, but the fact of the matter is, this is more personal. And that's the point. That's going to make a deeper relationship between the readers and the publishers. So I think that's a really key piece. It's going to show your personality much better. The second reason that live streaming is going to take over the internet or social media is because of the live interaction. If you're watching this on Periscope Live, you can see people. Yeah, see, I just got some hearts. We have people saying, I like that. And we also have people that can ask questions. So please feel free, if you have a question anytime during these, put it up in the comments. I will see it in my screen and be happy to answer it for you. So live interaction is a very important part. If I would write this in a blog and just put it up there, you could leave it in the comments and maybe I'd get back to you within a few days, maybe not. We just don't know. Sometimes I miss them if it just happens. It's hard. With thousands and thousands of articles, and keeping up with all the comments gets difficult. But a platform like this, it's very simple. Type me a question, I'll answer it, and we can move on. This also provides a richer exchange for people. So here we go. Here's a question. Do you think that live streaming by a newspaper would make sense? That's a great question. I think at some point it does. There's always going to be a certain number of people that will go back and always want to read articles. I'm a big reader, so I like reading things. Some people learn differently for reading, but there are a lot of people out there that learn by visually and by doing things and by being able to see things. I think there's certainly some learning that can happen that way. So for a newspaper, if you're reporting the news, certainly you can give a richer experience by actually showing the action or by having someone talk about it. I mean, think about newspapers versus cable news today. I think there's something there. I hope that answered your question. That's my opinion anyways. But certainly for people like me and other bloggers, I think this is a great idea. The third reason that live streaming is going to take over social media is that it brings the most fundamental element of being social to the platform: speaking and conversation. When was the last time you were at a party and said, hey, let's all get social, and then you write notes to each other? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. That's what we've been doing on the old platforms. Now, some of them are going to be, I think it's going to really force a lot of them to adapt on how they do things. I don't know that we're going to fundamentally change what those platforms are, but I think they're going to be forced to integrate live streaming at a much different level. I know Periscope and Twitter are very tight. I believe Twitter owns Periscope, so I would imagine that they would start bringing this exact thing right onto their platforms. Of course, we have Blab, which is a new one that's coming up. That's actually allowing people to have real live conversations on air. It'll be really interesting. I think it's going to force old platforms to adapt, or they're going to slowly die out. I'm concerned about platforms that have been reducing people's feeds and forcing people to work with them to buy traffic and to do things. I think Facebook, I'll carve out of that comment a little bit because I think they do a very good job with it. But some of the other ones, we've started to see that with people want relationships with people. They don't want relationships with websites. They don't want relationships with social media platforms. So I just think that this is going to really enhance that experience, having the live streaming. And that brings me to my last point of why live streaming will take over social media. Number 4, you become the brand, not your account on the platform. So if I were just to go up and put something on Facebook or Twitter or any other thing, you just have those words that are written there and maybe a picture that you took, but it's a blog. You don't own it. You have a license to use these platforms. By taking the opportunity to make you the brand, so you're seeing my face And if you like what I'm saying, you're realizing, wow, I know that person and I trust him, you will look to me for information in the future, not just an account or not just another article. And I've got another question here. It's a good question. I will ask you. BSF, which is Bible, I think it was I think you meant BF, Bible Study Fellowship. And you know what? I'm sorry, it went away before I finished the question. So if you want, please put that back up there and I'll answer it. Otherwise, I'll just keep moving on. My guess is at the end of the day, what's going to happen here is we're going to have this move forward. As people have these smartphones, it's going to be better and better and better, and people get better at using them. I'm sure that in 6 months we're going to look back at how we're using this today and say, you know, it was really a good start, but we can't believe how far we've gone. So anyways, if there's no more questions, I just want to leave it with that, and thank you so much. Every day I do a new post. This is episode 2. Episode 3 will be tomorrow. And we're probably going to change it up just a little bit. I might get a little creative and bring out some camera equipment. Not really sure exactly yet, but we kind of go as we see fit. These will all be up on our blog, dan330.com. There's going to be a new post carousel just for this series, and it's going to be all tips on social media and blogging, so please join us. Go to our website, read the articles. I download every one of these to my phone, put it up in Dropbox, bring it down to my computer, edit out the first and the last little bit here, so we just have the good juicy content in the middle. It gets uploaded to YouTube, embedded in my post, so you can always watch these in the future. Otherwise, on Periscope, these die out after 24 hours. So thanks for joining us. Sure appreciate it. Periscope down.